Welcome to the Crimson Circle Connection Center here in beautiful Louisville, Colorado, during this incredibly beautiful holiday season.
Welcome, everybody. And it is the holiday season. It feels good to be back here. And we have a beautiful set here today behind us, but also all around the studio. It's decorated with trees and lights and Santa Clauses. It's absolutely beautiful.
Can you show any shots of that in this handsome audience? It's so fun to have a big audience again.
Look at right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. And that's you're just seeing just a small part of all the decorations and
the beautiful people.
It's very Christmassy here.
Yes, it is.
We had a big snow
beautiful.
the other day, but today it's actually pretty warm outside.
Almost 60.
Yeah. So it's really nice. But
Fahrenheit.
anyway, we're glad you're here for the Illumination series, Shout number 3. I know Adamus is ready to go.
Is he?
Yeah, he was talking to me all night long. So if I fall asleep while I'm channeling, don't pay attention. But no, he's a little edgy lately.
Really?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, I
little,
know. I'm sleeping with it.
little edgy, and he's not taking any prisoners. He's like, we're going for it. And in some of the recent Keyhawk and some of the Angel webcasts the other day, we did that, and Linda had hundreds of questions, and he answered maybe one, and then took off on his own rant.
He was pretty clear and determined.
Yeah, he is, but he's got a reason for it.
But he did get through 10 questions.
He did. But he was pretty clear about things. So I'm excited about.
He wasn't being real sweet.
No.
Could he be sweet today?
No. Ain't gonna happen. Anyway, before we get started, though, there's so much going on in the news right now, and right now it's like we're into the apocalypse. There's a big event happening at this very moment. As a matter of fact, Linda, would you please get our
protection?
A huge event. I mean, literally, I'm not joking. I mean, it's in the news if you keep up, which Schumber does not. So we have to have our protective devices here and make sure that everything's going to be okay. And
I had to be talked into this.
I'm serious. What we have going on here is it is the biggest solar flare event called the Corona mass injection. I believe Gene had to tell me injection or ejection or something. But
Infection.
It's happening right now. 1:00. One of the biggest solar bursts in history is occurring right now. So I want to warn everybody, if you're listening online, if you get knocked out or if we get knocked out, it's not our fault. We're doing our very best. As a matter of fact, we actually had a training session before we started today. We had to work with the crew and the staff. What happens if? And, we brought in some little extra accoutrements. Do you want to show them the production desk back here? And there. They are prepared. So, no, it really is happening right now, and it's pretty funny. You guys have to keep those hats on now. Yeah. And, Mark, I don't know, as a camera operator, wearing sunglasses is the best thing. I just don't know. But, hey, it's my energy. It's going to serve me, so who needs the tinfoil hat? Sorry, I meant to throw it there. Matches your shoes, though.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, no, it's really happening, and so if weird things, you might see weird stuff in the sky tonight. There might be weird things happening here today. Who knows?
You told me you didn't buy into that kind of stuff.
No, I did not say that. I said that I'm going to let it serve me. Come on, Corona mass injections or whatever they are. Come on, I can take it. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, so anyway, moving on. We had the recent Shout number 2 of the Illumination series in Kona, Hawaii.
Yes, we did.
And we're going to play that so we kind of all remember what was said and done. So if you would back there. No, serious, you have to keep those hats on now. Gene made those, by the way, right beforehand. Yeah. Oh. We'll have an auction. Okay, here's last month. I had a few extra moments today. I was listening to Caldra and Linda's show, the first portion, and I heard them talking about this Hell Week. And right away I identified. I thought they were talking about me. Well, everybody knows the shout is coming up. We're going to be gathering. We're going to bring our energies together. And this is the most active week for me, by far, by 2 or 3 times the typical week. Because Chambra's feeling the energy and it brings out their issues. And suddenly everybody's calling up. I have one, an anonymous one I'll talk about here. I won't give her name. Called, all exasperated the other night, all exasperated. Adamus, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? And I said, my dear, just relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath. How the fuck am I supposed to relax when I have all this stuff going on in my life and you told me? And well, take a deep breath. Let's go back to the very simple thing. I exist. I exist. What does that mean, Adamus? I exist. You know, when I've got all these problems and all these issues and you told me, it's like, no, just hang on. Feel into that for a moment. I exist. It's pretty special. It's pretty special that you can even have these feelings of anger, consternation, confusion. That's pretty amazing. Just take a deep breath and relax. Let's talk for a little bit here. Just a little bit more I exist here. A little bit more. I don't know, part of you is like, you screw existence. But it's actually a beautiful thing. It's not even a miracle. It is everything. If you feel into that for a moment, it starts to put things into perspective, and the little irritating things from the day start to kind of go away. And you can just be with that. I exist, and yeah, I can feel stress and tension, and I can feel irritation and anger. I can also feel the joy of life. I can feel my own dreams. So we talked for a little bit, and I told her, I said, I truly understand. It's not easy staying on the planet right now. But it's so important to relax into what you're doing. We're into the apocalypse. We're deep into the apocalypse, 7 months into it? And there's so much going on at many levels. You're seeing right now what's the culmination of an old angelic battle that goes back a long, long time, long before you ever came to Earth. And it surfaced once again on the planet. And as I said in our last shout, this could be the second to the last Haporu battle, maybe the last. I've been feeling into it this week, watching what's going on, and I'm seeing something shift in the leadership. Both sides are starting to say, where does this all go? And that happens because of one thing. It's light, it's consciousness. That's it. That's why it happens. There is a lot going on here. It's really not yours. And when you relax, things just start working out. But you have to let go of the expectation. When you relax, you bring yourself back into balance. You're much more effective than when you allow your light to radiate, and the first place it radiates is to you, to yourself. So, for all of you right now, just relax. You can swear at me and cuss at me if you want, but then relax. You're doing exactly what you came here to do. The other point I wanted to make was there are a lot of forces at work right now on the planet. A lot of forces that you've had to deal with for a long time. Those are starting to loosen up. Those are starting to relax. I'm not just talking about the forces of politics or people or things like that, but we're talking about metaphysical forces that have been here forever, and they are starting to loosen up and relax because of consciousness, because of light. Some of the basics, time is starting to loosen up, and at first it's a little kind of disorienting. It's when time isn't what it used to be, part of your human self gets all upset and gets stressed out. it was a great force on the planet, and it served a lot of good. But now we start to go beyond time. Mass consciousness is loosening, or I should say, expanding. There is more light or more consciousness within it now than there was a year ago, and certainly before Heaven's Cross. That's loosening up. And if you're tapped into that, it's going to feel strange. And then the big one, the exciting one, we've talked about it recently in Keyhawk and in some of the workshops, gravity itself. Gravity is not just a physical force. It is a physical force, but not just. It holds things in. It also affects every thought, every emotion, every memory that you have. So gravity is both physical and non-physical. Gravity is changing. And that's going to cause a lot of other issues on the planet. When gravity changes, it's going to throw people off psychically, mentally. We've got magnetics on the planet. Can you imagine just even a little bit of change in the magnetic forces of the planet, of reality, of the universe? A little change, how that affects the planet? The forces that have held the planet together for so very long are all shifting and changing right now. It's being done on a graceful level, a masterly level. Not for everybody, some are suffering. But ultimately, what's happening with consciousness on the planet will truly create a peace and a grace on the planet. Truly go beyond all the old wars and the old inequities on the planet and turn this into a real garden of paradise. I know many of you are hurting right now. There's some anxiety. More should be happening. I must be doing something wrong. None of this is working. Others are making it work, but it's not for me. No, just let's relax. Let's relax right now. Relax into your realization. Relax into your master self. Relax into that grace of life.
That was good advice. I wish I'd have listened to it.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. Yeah, you wouldn't. I forgot something with all the excitement, of the corona mass ejection. I totally forgot to announce the out-of-staters here and to ask, first of all, how many are here new for the first time? If we could get a shot on camera of that. Yeah.
Very sweet.
Wow. Quite a few. Wow. Yeah. Okay. And Linda, you've got the names of the ones who are from out of state. Do you want to read that?
A little better than out of state even.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, like across an ocean or
wow.
something.
Go ahead.
Zora from Norway.
Yeah, good to
Welcome.
see you. Yeah. Norway's a lovely place. What part are you from?
Oslo.
Oslo. Lovely.
Beautiful
Yeah.
country.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Glad you're here.
Magdalena from Poland. Where are you, sir? There
Hi.
you are, beautiful.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Good. Do you live in Poland, or you actually live there? Wow. Yeah. What brings you here to Colorado? Shambra, yeah, Crimson Circle. I'm glad to see you.
Welcome. Tamara from California.
Hi, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
And Ivana from California.
Hi, Ivana.
Hi, Ivana, longtime friend. And Terry Maloney from Florida. Where are you, Terry?
Way in the back. Hi, Terry. Remember, she can bring the microphone back there. Yeah, and she will. Yeah, you can't hide.
Anya from Kentucky.
Hi, Anya. Good to see you again.
Michael from Missouri.
Michael?
dear Tracy from Nebraska, the teacher. There
Hey,
she
say hi.
is.
Oh, good to see you again.
Let's see, and Ina from New Jersey.
I'm good. You found your phone.
Welcome. And Ricky from New Jersey.
Hi, Ricky. Good to see you.
Sarah from New York.
Hi, Sarah.
And Pearl from Texas. Good to see you.
Hi,
again.
Pearl.
What a great group.
Okay.
Nice energies.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the recent events. We've been in Kona for the last 3 months, I think, and
Yes.
we had a couple of great workshops. We had our first Exploring the New Light. Going into it, obviously no idea what was going to happen, but it was a very, very strong group. Anybody here that's here today was at that workshop? Couple?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. A
Staff
couple.
members.
Yeah, it was strong. And we're going to be doing more of them, but he really got into some of the metaphysics of the new light, and wow, mind-blowing stuff.
It was, truly.
But we had a great time. A good group, as I said, came from all over the world. I think
yeah.
30 different countries.
Right.
And we always have a good time during the session. There's Belle, of course. She plops
love
herself
dog.
right on the floor to watch everything. And ADAMUS was pretty strong.
As always.
We had parties in the house.
We did.
With live music, accordion player from Germany, and then Vanessa's husband, Edward, playing the
Right.
banjola. I always mix that up. But it rains our times, so sometimes we have the nighttime parties in the house, or people just hang around outside. And that's a look at the whole great group was there.
It was a great group.
After we had a little break, and after that we thought we were going to do a Staying in Grace, but we did not. It was going to be the last Staying in Grace live workshop. We filmed it already. It'll be available. It'll be available. It is available. This damn corona mass ejection. It's give me my hat back quick.
It's always something.
Anyway, we got into it, and it was about love. Now, as you probably know, Adamus isn't a real big fan of talking about love, and Linda's been frustrated with him for years. Why won't you talk about it? Why are you negative about it? But here he finally addressed it very head-on.
And masterly, in a way that I could even find acceptable.
It was really, really good. And this isn't, fluffy love. I mean, he talked about the real, the physics of love and the depths of it. We had a great group there. They left at one point. They ascended. Back in the picture. Okay. Really, really great group. And this is at the Shambhala Pavilion in Kona.
That's right.
And again, just a lot of fun. We gather in the evenings and just enjoy beautiful weather and a lot of good food. That's Natalie, who is our manager on the island. And more food.
And Tess is a great assistant also.
Yeah, Tess is living there permanently now.
Her whole family.
But again, people from all around the world show up, and it's so magical. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And they connect.
One of the
really
nights we went to a local dance studio that Marco is involved in.
Mirosevic.
And it was so fun. We put on the music, and not everybody except me was out dancing, and a lot of good food. And he did a really good job of leading the group. Interesting fashion, but it's island fashion. She took that off after a short while. The coconuts.
The coconut.
Yeah, she said it was really uncomfortable. I tried it on later. She was right, but just. Really, really, it was a strong workshop.
Really sweet.
Normally, it takes me a couple of days to get over a workshop, to integrate, and to return to kind of my normal self. That took well over a week. Was strong. We're going to be doing it. No, we're not going to do it again. That's right. I said I'm never going to do that one again. So it was over the top.
Actually, because it was so deep and so strong and just pushed things very far ahead, we're actually going to record it sooner than later because we want everyone to have access to it, because when we do the live workshops, it's 40 or less people.
Yeah.
And we feel like this was so deep and so strong, all Chambers need access to it.
So we're actually going to film it
It's on our schedule.
in about a month. And we hope to have it available by the end of February, right? The production staff was like, no, not that quick. Anyway,
Well, we're determined to get it out as soon as possible.
let's take a look at 2024 upcoming events. I can't even believe I'm saying the word 2024.
I know.
You know, if you'd asked me back in 1980, how I thought things were, I didn't even think I'd be here at this time. But
Well, just even crossing the century or the millennium was such a big deal.
I couldn't even imagine into 2024, but we're here, thank God, alive and well. We have Pronos coming up in just a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, Pronos 2024. Adamus is one time where he really addresses the global situation. It's not about predictions, it's about trends, where the planet is going.
Energies.
And since we started it in 2014, 15, it's been over the top, and he's been so accurate. When he started talking about technology and some of the other things happening, and now we're actually seeing it take place. So he talks about what...
Even COVID, he forecasted.
Yeah.
He didn't call it that, but he forecasted it.
Yeah, but then he said it would be over quickly, too. But it's truly one of the most important events of the year, just from the standpoint of you get an overview or a perspective of what's going on the planet. So that's going to be online live on January 13th, but of course you can always download it or stream it later on. And this year's theme, it should be very interesting. The laws are not yours.
That sounds like troublemaking.
It does. It does. I do remember one time he said that years ago, the law is not yours, at a workshop, and somebody went and pulled the fire alarm. And it's like, man, it doesn't mean it literally like that. But he's talking here the laws of physics, the laws of humans, the laws of...
Oh, good.
All of that.
Okay,
yeah.
So I can't go 100 miles an hour in my car.
No, yes, you can. No, you can. It's
really?
Not your... Yes, but you have to pay the ticket.
Oh.
You have to pay the ticket. Yeah. And anyway, after that, we have Aspectology Weekend, the 19th through the 21st. It's one of the core Crimson Circle classes, one of my very favorites. We're going to show a little bit of it here right now. It was initiated by Tobias initially, but we also have Adamus work his way in.
Well, he can't resist adding on.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Aspectology. Aspectology, fascinating, amazing, truly new energy psychology, a new way of looking at what happens to the being, particularly when they come to Earth. They forget about who they really are, but yet they're still making these aspects. They'll disguise themselves as ghosts and boogeymen and evil spirits and demons. You think you're being followed or even inhabited by some evil spirit. It's not. It's simply an aspect. How many of the thoughts that you've had are not yours? They belong to an aspect. How often when you hear this negative voice, is it not really yours, but belonging to an aspect or a group of aspects? How many times have you felt fear that wasn't really you? How often have you felt and experienced confusion where you can't seem to sort things out and get clear because all the aspects with their agendas and their stuck energy are clogging up the very natural process of creativity and creation? Traditional psychology has an unwritten core belief that there is something broken at the core of the person and that it must be fixed. The new energy psychology of aspectology understands that at the core, at the soul level, it is total perfection. It is natural for any creator being to create actors of itself. It is a natural thing for all of these aspects to return back home sooner or later. In this beautiful, beautiful dynamic,
No matter how imbalanced you may think you are, no matter how distorted your aspects might get, the soul remains pure. And this is the blessing of the creation of aspects. What emerges is a wiser human, a more enlightened human, and a human who's no longer afraid of themselves or their actions or their thoughts. It eliminates those crazy thoughts, those voices, that constant judgment upon yourself. The mind quiets down, and the fear seems to go away. A new trust in the deepest parts of yourself is reestablished, and you live each moment in a very balanced and integrated relationship with yourself, in a trust that you haven't felt in eons of time. You tend to think that these have influence or power over you. And you know what? The minute that you start thinking that and believing that, it happens. You suddenly give all of this crazy group the basically control or the degree of control over you. It's a great game. But at any point, what a creator has created can be uncreated, or it can be recreated in any way the creator wants. So, you don't like this? You feel intimidated by it, overwhelmed by it, disempowered by it, or anything else? You are the creator the moment you step forward and accept that. You may not want to accept it. You may say, oh, that's so much work, or gee, I don't know if I want to take responsibility. Oh, then it'll remain like this. And that's okay. It's just the game of creatorship.
Well, now you have it.
Yeah. So that's coming up. Aspectology, we only do it one time a year, and it features both Adamus and Tobias, of course. And it's really one of our core classes.
It is.
You know, sexual energy school, aspectology, and a couple others. But it's so important in understanding how we as creators create these aspects and then ultimately bring them back home.
Well, and he even states that you have to be able to do that if you really expect to find your realization.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, that's January 19th through the 21st online, and you do have 90 days access to go back to all the files.
That's correct.
After that, we go back to Kona, early February, I believe, and back to Belle. I almost said Fred, which is our previous dog, who looks just like Belle.
I know.
It is Belle. I mean, it's the incarnation.
I know, it's a new incarnation.
We have another Exploring the New Light gathering, March 10th through the 14th in Kona at Villa Amio. And I think we're limited on spaces right now. I think there's only 8 spaces left on that. Following that, we're going to be doing the Master Code with another core class from Kona online.
Hosting it, yes.
You and I are hosting it live, of course. It's available in 14 different languages right now, which is pretty amazing.
It really is.
Really, the core of Master's Code is really understanding how we code energies. They're all energy designs. We go back to Atlantis and talk about the Atlantean code that essentially guided us here. We talk about creating the new codes for the Master's life on the planet. And it's really a great opportunity to release a lot of the old coding that we have, whether it's ancestral, whether it's just something from a past life, and now start to create the new energy templates in our life. So it's amazing. I look forward to it.
It's a big
gets
jump forward.
Really, really high ratings in the surveys that we do. 98.1% excellent for Adamus. There's probably one person that didn't. And
somebody you rubbed wrong.
Yeah, 80% say it's life-changing. 99% say they would recommend it to other Shambra. And a good value for the price, 89%. Those are pretty good numbers.
That's very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, after that, we're going to be doing an update on Heaven's Cross on March 22nd, live from Kona. It's going
That's
to be
exactly 1 year,
1 year to the date.
the
Isn't that
anniversary.
weird? I keep thinking that Heaven's Cross was like 2 years ago. No, no.
feels like
It
it.
feels like it. It'll be a free webcast that we're going to be doing live from Kona with ADAMUS giving an update on what's going on. So
We're going to be kind of busy.
yeah, we're going to be real busy. Yeah, yeah. That's what we do. After that is the first time ever for a new workshop format. I don't know what to say about it other than the title is Metaphysics of the Mind. It's March 24th
I'm
through
excited.
the 28th. Yeah, I get kind of a headache thinking about it, but
Well, he has such, incredible perspective of that anyways. And the fact that if he could distill that and with great clarity, that could be really nice.
yeah,
He
and people have
alludes
been
to it a
asking
lot.
for years about some
Right.
more information about mental imbalance, and I think this is going to be part of it. But he's going to talk about what's really going on up there,
Well, and
which could be scary.
Well, the real role of the mind.
Right, right.
Which is,
Yeah.
he alludes to all the time, but to actually really put this in a solid, place would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
and we do have some spaces open on that.
We do.
Then in April 14th through the 18th is Master Circle. That's tailored specifically to that group. They're all different. There's no, repetition or not much anyway.
That's right.
And it's for that group. We sit around and talk a lot. Very interactive with Adamus.
Well, the audience interaction is what guides where Adamus goes. So it is a very personalized event by
Yeah.
that small group.
To me, it's kind of like the old mystery schools we used to do.
Right, right.
It was a mystery. We didn't know what we were going to be doing. So it was, this is like, okay, fasten your seatbelts and away we go. Then in late April, we're going to be doing another Exploring the New Light. Again, that was fascinating.
Amazing.
Really fascinating. And we follow up our stay there with another Metaphysics of the Mind, May 8th through the 12th. So if you're interested in going to any of the gatherings in Kona, do make your airline and lodging reservations early. It's kind of prime time on the island, particularly,
In the
I think it's
spring.
March
Yeah, yeah.
is busy.
March, April.
Yeah, so if you wait till the last minute, it's more expensive.
And the Airbnbs are one of the best ways to go. Sometimes the
The best
hotels
way.
gouge.
Yeah.
If they're having trouble booking, then the rates go down. But the Airbnbs are pretty good deals. People get a lot for their money.
I would say 90% of the attendees use Airbnb
They do.
rather than a hotel. It's just such a good deal.
And the Turo car rental too.
Yeah. So now it's time for Shambra News. See what's happening behind the scenes. Got old Santa Claus delivering packages.
Is
in
that
his-
how he says it?
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, ho, ho, ho. This is actually about the Shambra magazine. Just always a reminder that we put it out once a month. It's beautiful, and it contains all the latest information, great articles. I did a little something different on my article this month. I'd started to write it, I think it was Sunday afternoon before it was due on Monday morning. And I sat down to write it, and I wanted to talk about a little thing I do, a little technique. And I got to writing, I thought, why just write it out? So I called Linda and had her bring in the recorder and recorded it because it was really kind of an experience. And I wasn't sure how that was going to go over, but it seemed
It went
people
well.
people liked it. Yeah, so we're going to try to be doing more and more audio as well as the text version, even if it's not an experience like that. I know Gina's going to read hers next month as well as write it, and I'll probably be
We'll
doing
see.
the
Well,
same.
it's a new potential.
Yeah. Also, it's even though it's a new format, if you like the old PDF format, it's still available that way. Very easy to get a translation of the magazine, and it's best of all, it's free. I mean, can't beat it. Usually, it's about 55, 60 pages. I mean, it's pretty extensive. So, okay.
Well, I like that it's mobile friendly because so many people appreciate that because, you see people, they're on their phones all the time.
Yeah. So we'd like to take a moment to
Okay.
acknowledge a very dear friend who left recently. Everybody here, I'm sure, knows Carolyn Whalen, and she left, ascended on November 17th. I got to get my stuff together here. She was a long time Shambra, a good friend. Vince and Carolyn came to the Shouds as far back as the Coal Creek Canyon days, the
Soon as we
early Coal
started
Creek
doing
Canyon
them, yeah.
days. and she left recently. And Vince, you know, our hearts go out to you. We love you, and we know Carolyn is still around. I did a little check-in on her shortly after Vince, after you let me know that she had crossed over, and she didn't stop in the near-earth realms or the crystalline realms or any of that. She didn't hang around for her service or to see what people were thinking or saying. She shot straight for the Ascended Masters Club. I'm serious. She was like so happy to be done with the body. And she knew Vince and her loved ones were going to be just fine. She's like, I am so out of here. I'm going right to the Ascended Masters Club, where she was met by ADAMUS and many of the others, and I'm sure they partied for days and days.
Yeah.
So, Carolyn, we're thinking about you all the time, and glad that you're here today. Thank you. Okay, next, Master's Life 16, Returning to Grace. It was released recently, a couple weeks ago, I think, yeah. And this was based on a number of workshops we did in Kona, the Staying in Grace workshops, but Adamus did a little changeover on it for
Because he can.
Yeah, it's a new Master's Life. It really addresses at its core some of the very false beliefs that we are fallen angels. And I think that's really prevalent on the planet, that the religions teach it, and people believe it, that we took a left turn instead of a right turn, and really screwed up. We did something wrong. He talks a lot about the lessons from the Essenes, the group that so many of us were part of, and talks about they had it right on one hand, but they also did a lot of suffering, which was needless. It just not needed at all. And then he really talks a lot about the barriers to grace in our life. You know, grace is flow. It just means things work out. You lose your phone, it shows up in your purse a few minutes later, even though you're panicking. And you know, that's a good example of grace, because, you know, if you worry about it and stress, you're out of flow, you're out of grace, and things don't work out. If you take a deep breath, like Adama said in the last shout, just relax. It works out. Your phone, even though you looked into your purse does many times trying to find the phone, suddenly it's in your purse. And that's the way it should be. That's the way life should be. It should just roll.
And you can feel that, you get all stressed about something, it just doesn't work out, then finally you walk away, and like you said, you let that go, and then all of a sudden, there it is.
There's 5 really, really good, profound sessions in this Returning to Grace. You have 90 days access to the video, the streaming, the audio, the e-reader. Angels now, the Crimson Circle Angels now get 120 days access. It's available in Spanish, and the other languages are coming. We just have to get them translated. So we're going to take a quick look at the Master's Life 16, Returning to Grace. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Shambra, to Returning to Grace. I love the concept of grace. It's one of the most beautiful, elegant feelings. It's actually an angelic sense. The ability to be in grace and enjoy your own human condition is divine. Why have a lifetime? Why have a year or a day that goes by when you're not letting yourself enjoy it? When you're not letting yourself fully be present? Grace is the flow. Grace is the bringing together, not more levels of separation. It's bringing yourself together. Grace is walking away from fear. Walking away from some of these concepts that even to this day, some Shambras still have conspiracies and the harm other people are trying to do and how bad governments or corporations, they're not bad, they're just stupid. And you set up these conditions in your life to just perpetuate suffering. I'm asking you now, at this point where we are, to come back to grace, and in doing so, to enjoy every moment of your life. Yes, there's going to be hassles in traffic, but you can actually enjoy that if you're in the right perspective. And yes, there are bad people, people that would do bad to you. But when you're in grace, you're aware of them and not letting them into your life, not being in a situation that puts you with them. When you're in grace, there is absolutely no reason to suffer for yourself or anybody else. I ask you to be in your own grace. Bring yourself together in unity. Realize that you never have fallen from grace. Realize that you never did the bad things that you think you did. Some of you just want to hold on to that and insist on it and hold on to a life of suffering. But the rest of us are going to move forward. The rest of us have something we want to gift this planet with. That's called grace. That's called loving and enjoying the human condition. It's called gathering ourselves back up as masters, as light beings on this planet.
Hope you could feel into that.
Yeah, Staying in Grace. It's just recently put out. I loved it. It was really a lot of fun to do and to produce. And we'd gone through, I think, 3 or 4 Staying in Grace live workshops. And then ADAMUS kind of distills all that when we go to the actual filming. So it's always kind of really feels close. Okay, we're going to move on and talk about our Spotlight product for the month. Every month we take something from the archives. We have a lot in there, and we put a spotlight on it and say, here's a great product. A lot of the stuff is more timely now than it was even back then.
So as your perspective changes, so does what you hear.
Yeah. Our spotlight for this month is Dreamwalk to Theos. And it features the music of Johann, which was Anat, Gerhard, and Amir. And it's a very, very deep and transformational dreamwalk in 4 different sections, actually.
Right.
The sections are relatively short, 4 tracks, really, as you would. But it's a beautiful dreamwalk, available now, 15% discount, text translations for 11 different languages.
Right.
So let's take a quick look at the Theos, or Dreamwalk to Theos trailer. Theos is a very special place just for beautiful humans like you. Humans that are going from awakening into their mastery. Humans that have made a deep, deep commitment to stay in the physical body, yet allow their mastery. Humans who continue living in everyday life, but are now allowing the expression, the feeling, and the integration of the I am. Some would call it ascension. Some would call it realization. I simply call it the final integration. So Theos, this special place on New Earth. Theos is a place just for those like you who've chosen embodied realization. It is a very, very safe space.
so safe you can actually allow yourself to feel that precious, precious love. So now, it's time for you and I to begin our dream walk to Theos. But let's start going through nature itself. Let's take a walk, you and I, through nature. Take a good deep breath. And let's begin.
I hope you could feel the beauty of that.
I'd forgotten about that,
Yeah,
actually.
me too.
I totally forgot about it. It sounded beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why the staff does this spotlight thing for me, because I forget about what we had. And it's like, oh, I didn't know we ever did that. And anyway, the other thing, we mentioned it last month, but I wanted to mention it again now. The new 21 Shaumbra Realizations is out. It was a labor of love, and it
Hard
took,
work.
well, it was really hard to take everything we've done and try to distill it into 21 realizations. We spent a long time with the staff working on the various individual points, and then we had to write the text for them. And distilling like that is really tough to do, but
Oh, yeah.
it's now available. It's free on the internet. You can find it on YouTube with the music and videos to go along with it. It's also a PDF, and it's in print format. Linda has a copy that she's holding right here. You can order it through Amazon.
So these are 21 realizations, a distillation of 20 years. So you can get everything we've ever done down in this little book.
Right. In a way, it felt really good. In another way, it was very sad. What? It took me that long to come up with this, But it's, ADAMUS is the one who kind of tasked us with
pushed
it.
it.
And he said, first of all, he wanted to test us on our distilling skills. But also, we find out, maybe you do too, you try to explain to people what we do. And it's like, oh, I don't even know where to begin. And then I get mental and I say too much and they walk away. I look glassy-eyed. But the other night, we had dinner with some friends who are not Shaumbra. And we were at dinner. We brought a copy of this to kind of test the concept. And somewhere during dinner, we handed this to them. And we said, this is kind of what we do, And they were... At least they pretended that.
Well, it's like you didn't
what do
hand
you do?
them a
You're trapped
Bible.
at dinner, Yeah, you don't hand them a Bible. And actually, the lady was kind of leafing through, and she came to the one, if we can find it in here, and started laughing and
Oh,
laughing.
I know which one, the clergy one.
Yeah, the suffering is for fools and clergy.
Yeah.
And she really related to that. But it was a good test, because then actually we wanted to just kind of continue the conversation, a regular conversation, and they kept on reading the book. And they were really fascinated. And we told them it was $10. Actually, for those of you here at the studio today, we do have copies if you want to buy one, and they're only $5 today. So what a deal! It's a donation, right? Thank you. Have to remember that. We have quite a few copies back here, so it was fun to put together, and it. I have it on my desk. I have to remind myself in the morning. Okay, what do we do? What do we believe in? Oh, okay, going for another day. But it's great to hand to other people, like your children or whatever, and said, here's what this
I
weird
have
group does.
relatives that ask what I do, and I never know how do I even begin. And I won't flinch to send this to anybody.
Yeah, it's not.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, actually, a lot of it is just kind of common sense.
Right.
So
And
anybody.
if that bugs them, bye-bye.
Yeah, but we do have copies here, or you can order through Amazon if you want a hard copy, or it's available otherwise. So we're going to take a break now for food, drink, restrooms, and it's a beautiful day outside here in Colorado. We're going to come back at 1:30 the hour. We got done a little early today.
2:30 Mountain Time.
2:30 Mountain Time. So we'll see you in about 40
40
minutes.
minutes.
That's a good long break.
That's a
Yep.
nice break.
Yep.
Plenty of
So
time.
with that, thank you once again
Thank
for
you.
being with us. We're going to come back
Thank you,
for
everyone
Adamus.
watching online.
Thanks. Thank you.